I'm sitting with Smoke,
What's up? What's up?
performing at the Blowout coming up. So how long have you been making your music?
I've been doing this like seventh grade.
Seventh grade?
Like seventh grade, but I got relevant in high school.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
everybody's the little gangster.
Sure.
Try to be what's popular. But I found my niche pretty much in high school. About 10th grade.
Okay.
Went to Cass. Was always freestyling outside. So pretty much I got known for freestyling around the city pretty much.
Okay.
Different schools, different little open mics. So after that, graduation, went to Wayne State. Still freestyling.
Sure.
So started really getting a reputation for battling.
Really?
Yeah. Not a good...
Go easy on me, though, right?
Just good spirit of competition. But,
right.
After that, I actually got out in the circuit and started out at the Detroit Beer Company, going to a thing they did every Tuesday. And I met, like, a lot of who's who as far as, like, Detroit hip-hop.
Sure.
And underground, like, there. And, like, pretty much my real journey began from there on.
Well, that's the real scene, right? That's where you're schooled.
Right.
Right.
Pretty much. That's where I got my lumps.
Right.
That's where School of Hard Knocks. That was where you earn your stripes.
Because it's got to hurt up there when somebody really,
Yeah.
when they say that perfect thing at the perfect time.
Yeah. and it's like, oh, man, you just, you like I say, you just live to fight another day. But,
Right.
if you hold your own, you do gain a lot of respect.
Oh, sure.
And especially if you come back, like, better.
Yeah.
Then, so I was always a person that's kind of a perfectionist.
Sure.
So
So you got to keep going back there, refining your method.
Yeah.
Freestyling, too, I mean.
Yeah, and that's, for me, I love it. Because to me, that's how you keep yourself sharp.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And a lot of stuff now with, like, hip-hop, it's not as fun as it used to be. I love freestyle. It's fun.
Yeah.
What I mean? You can rap about the beer on the wall, the light over there, what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps you flexible. It makes you more versatile, So with me just being an addict for it, I've become a lyrical, I ain't gonna say a monster. But
Juggernaut.
yeah,
Yeah.
But there's always room
Take
for
no
improvement,
prisoners.
right?
Right. Always room for improvement.
Right, but definitely always trying to stay on the top of my game.
Sure. Do you have any influences?
Various. People think just because I rap, I don't listen to other type of music. I listen from alternative to rock, jazz, classical. So a lot of my influences are kind of just, sometimes they're mood based.
Sure.
My mom's a big influence. So, she's kind of a driving force behind me to go.
Right.
So, but a lot of local people here, like the Finales, like Ty Sheard, Energetic, Leif Erikson.
Yeah.
Like those type of guys who I actually were around, who actually embraced me.
Okay.
Just being a newcomer on the scene. And for them to kind of look out for me, kind of school me to the do's and don'ts and stuff, they really, really got close with me.
Right.
So I kind of look at them as like big brothers. So, it's like a lot of different influences, even, out of state, international.
Yeah.
You always learn that it's like, wow, it's a different culture. Like, I got a couple friends in the UK that have done production for me and I've worked with, and we always just talk about a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of things,
Oh, sure. Do you have now when you go up and perform? I know Badling, they provide the track for you, but I mean, do you write your own? Do you ever just sit down and write a concrete song that that you perform regularly? The people who come see you can.
Yeah, you always, because you want to have some songs that people can relate to, and there's nothing wrong with just hashing it out on some lyrics, but a lot of people love songs they can identify with.
That's right.
And if you can't like really identify with any core audience or anybody, I mean, people can say you got good music, but it's gonna just like stop there.
Yeah.
It's like when you're in the mood, you may throw on something that's like particular.
Right.
That's going to be like, I feel like shit right now. You know what I'm saying? Just like, and you just put on one of these, it could be like a hate track and just, I can't stand her. And, listening to that song can help you vent, So it's like a lot of things. Like I wrote a song when I was real sick. It was called Curtains.
Curtains.
And it's on one of my last mixtape, which was called the Foreclosure mixtape, because my house is going in foreclosure.
Okay.
And I was really driven and inspired because it was just like, take no prisoners at all costs. Sure. I got to do this music. I gotta save my house.
Yeah.
And I wrote Curtains. I was real sick. I had no voice. I was like off work for like 2 weeks, and basically it was just when the curtain falls down, where you going to be? Working 9 to 5 or being MC. And is I work a 9 to 5, but Lord knows I love music. I'm doing music at my job, So it was just one of those things where I think anybody, it's like you have to make a choice eventually,
right?
Because the two eventually are going to start to clash, So I mean, that whole song was really, a lot of people's like, wow, that's really deep. That you kind of just touched on that, because people feel like that. Like, what are you going to do?
Right.
You can only spread yourself here, spread yourself there.
It's an important question.
So I think a lot of people really kind of felt that one, because they was like, they got my perspective on it.
Yeah.
Like, a real 9 to 5er, but man, that guy loves his music.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. And speaking of music, when and where are you playing at Blowout?
I will be at a new place, Kelly's Bar.
Kelly's Bar.
So I'm playing there at 11:20, right before the Blacklist.
11:20, right before the Blacklist.
Yep. So I'm looking forward to that. That's a new spot. I think last time I did the Belmont. I think before that I did the Painted Lady.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that. New atmosphere. Just ready to rock the crowd and just get them going.
Yeah. All right. This is Smoke. Go see him.
Hey.
All right, man.
Thanks a lot. All right.